This is Los Angeles Clippers playing against the Indiana Pacers with a record of 3-7 over their last 10 games. Won tonight.
Yeah, Ellis, a.k.a. Baby AI, still has the speed to force him also, but he can punish teams.
Well, the best thing that he can do is a talent to be able to get that many shots off at that clip, because consistently he can get off 4 or 5 shots in 5 possessions. That's impressive.
Is he going to be an all-star one of these days?
When his team wins and he has these numbers, he will be an all-star.
With the game about to start, we head to Kevin Harlan. He's got the call.
It's the Clippers and the City of Angels for a little interconference action here at the Staples Center. We're happy to have you with us for 2K Sports midweek presentation of NBA basketball. I'm Kevin Harlan with Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony and Doris Burke reporting from the sideline. Look at Indiana. They've hit a rough spot here early, but still have plenty of time in their season to find their way out.
I mean, you know, during the course of a long season, every team hits what I call a speed bump on occasion. This team is in that stretch right now, but I wouldn't discount them. They've still got a chance to be really good. This could very well just be a bump in the road.
Yeah, but it's a pretty big bump. I mean, they have not looked very good lately. Not at all like we'd expected them to be. And I agree, they'll probably turn it around at some point, but I don't know that that's a given.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's check out who's on the floor, courtesy of Gatorade. And so in the game for the Pacers, Hill is out there with Ellis. Then there's C.J. Miles. Then it's Paul George. And it's Mahimi in at the 5 down low.
You know, I can think of one way to describe George Hill. It's the culmination of several attributes. I mean, he comes from the school of Popovich, plays under control, always in the right place defensively. The way I describe him is just steady.
An interesting thing about George Hill, he was traded from the Spurs to the Pacers a few years back. Many people were surprised the Spurs would even trade a valuable veteran when they were trying to win a championship. But who did they trade him for? Kawhi Leonard. A pretty good deal.
Well, you know, Hill is really solid. He knocks down open shots, can run the offense or play off the ball equally well. I think he's a terrific combo guard. Gives you a little bit of everything and does it in a professional way. And that's typically what attracts him to other teams.
Clippers on defense, fresh from a win against Portland.
And we've talked about how in the NBA you've got to earn your points the hard way. And that really wasn't the case in that game for them.
No, there was no hard way about it. I mean, they got their points easily on dunks and layups against the defense that really didn't offer much of a fight.
Paul with the ball. He picked up 15 points in their last win against Portland.
Yeah, not to mention the 4 big steals on the night, getting after it on both ends.
Now here's Paul. And Griffin with the score. The assist by Paul. Griffin's got his second bucket.
I tell you what, guys, it's going to be a tough day on this defense if he's got the A game rolling tonight.
Hill kicks to Ellis.
Just reliable, guys. He's just always trying to make the right play.
We're just about 2 minutes into the first quarter. Up top, Griffin. No good. And Indiana will go the other way with it. They couldn't put the pieces together, losing the last matchup with the Lakers.
And it's a tough game to lose. I mean, they actually put up a pretty solid effort, I thought. But when you're battling for a road win, even when you play hard, nothing's guaranteed.
Well, Greg, I think you've got to try to convert the positives. Take them into the momentum of your next game, use them for momentum, and then take what you did well and double down the efforts here tonight.
Now here's Paul George, unable to get his shot to go. That doesn't go either for Griffin. Hill passes to Miles. Indiana moving it around. George against Stevenson. And George, here we go. And the layup's good off the glass. George has got his first points of the night.
Defensively, that possession better not start a trend because they just handed him 2 points.
Paul, no one around him. Los Angeles with another miss.
Well, they're fortunate. The defense was taking a big chance leaving him that wide open behind the arc.
Clippers trail by 4. This is it to Reddick. The ball. And 3 off the mark. Pacers have gone 50% from the field, hitting 3 of 6 since the opening tip. Ellis. Griffin with some nice D.
That's a surprise. I mean, really out of character for him to miss when the defense is not right up on him.
And the call, that's his first foul.
Yeah, clearly he had an established position there.
Yeah, and I like this call because you want the refs in that situation. If there's any doubt, err on the side of giving the benefit of the doubt to the offensive player. That should have been a block, and it was.
Now, here's Stevenson. He is a good contributor to his team, averaging about 10.5 points a game.
And Coach Doc Rivers wears multiple hats for this organization. Not only is he the head coach, but also in charge of all basketball operations, really the leader in a lot of ways for this team.
And it's off the back rim, no good.
No doubt it's been a bit of a struggle for him here in this quarter in terms of scoring.
Can't tie it up as that one's no good.
Oh, that's terrific defense there. That's how you protect the rim.
Thinking about Doc Rivers being a leader, he was like that on the floor. Clark as well. You know that. You went against him.
A leader and a winner, no doubt about it. And there have been a lot of coaches that came from this old Celtics team.
And for all of the improvements he's made to his game, one wonders why Blake Griffin isn't a better shot blocker. I mean, he clearly has the motor and the athleticism, but for some reason over his first 5 seasons, he's averaged only a half a block per game.
And regarding Griffin's low block shot number, for some guys, they simply lack a certain feel, Clark, for blocking shots.
Yeah, you know, there's something about the aptitude for shot blocking that sometimes is understated. Just because you're a high flyer in the front court doesn't mean you're going to block a lot of shots.
Here's Paul, following the basket by George Hill. And it's Paul penetrating. Jordan down to 5 on the shot clock. Griffin dishes to Stevenson. That drops. And it comes off an assist from Griffin. Stevenson's got his first points in this one. Indiana leading. And here is Ellis. 17 points for him last game against the Lakers.
And what I enjoyed when watching that game was the way he balanced getting his shot and also incorporating his teammates.
Here is Miles. And Monte Ellis hits from deep. Ellis has got 7 points.
You might not think of him as a laser three-point shooter, but that shot was there for him, and he had to take it.
Griffin down low. Playing Portland, he was nearly unstoppable.
And he is really in a zone right now, playing and scoring with confidence.
And guys, Blake Griffin has got to be one of the more humble stars in the league. You rarely hear about off-court issues and interviews. He was engaged.
Right, and both feet on the ground. He started out as a class act, and he stayed one.
check out stats for Griffin. He's been dominant over the last month, averaging about 18 points per, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists. And just look at those scoring totals. He's been doing what he does best, putting points on the board.
Absolutely. I mean, he has those real natural scoring instincts. The ability to find creases in the defense, just fantastic.
And talking about Blake Griffin, one of the more well-liked players in our league, but also one of the most teed-up players, top 5 in the league for the past 4 seasons. He's been ejected from several games as well. And just another example, Kevin, of how they built this lead, just outworking.
Greg, that was definitely an effort play right there. You talk about that all the time, fighting to get proper position, then slamming home the putback.
Yep, and if they can maintain this energy level, their lead will be safe.
Hill kicks to Miles. Misses the layup.
And, you know, getting back to Griffin, it's hard to stay grounded in this league. All the money, endorsements, ad campaigns, commercials, and so forth, that stuff can take you off track. But I think he's going to be grounded and maintain this focus going forward.
On the wing, Stevenson. Stevenson missing again.
Rebounding is going to be the focal point for them in this one, fellas. I can feel it.
It always is, and it has been so far, and they've gotten a nice edge on the glass.
Now, here is George. He had a 21-point outing in their last game against the Lakers in Los Angeles. Latrey, good, and it's Hill picking up the assist. And now an 8-point Pacer lead.
Perfect screen there. Set him up with a terrific look.
Yeah, I like the fact that the setup was good, the screen was solid, but you also have to look at the fact that the defender didn't do his job as well as he could have.
Here's Paul. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. Up and in on the way.
Nice work on the inside. Hard to get that one up and over the big fella.
Well, it's not supposed to be easy down there, and a little artistry on the inside helped him make it happen.
Now here is Hill. 11 points for him in that last game against the Lakers. And Miles kicks to Ellis. Outside for Miles. And again, it's the Pacers from deep.
They're relying on their three-point shooting and getting pretty good results right now.
You're right. 3 of their last 5 makes are from beyond the arc.
Here's Redick. He really was a guy also who stepped up in that win against the Blazers.
And he can time his passes so perfectly. Wow, what an assist. And Redick is just an unbelievable three-point shooter. It's not just his volume, it's his pinpoint accuracy. By the end of last season, Redick was 40% from behind the arc for his career.
And a quick check now. The NBA's top rebounds. Andre Jordan, number 1.
You can't score if you don't have the ball. Somebody has to do some glass eating. And this guy is one of the premier glass eaters in the league. Actually, the very best.
So, for the Clippers, Cole Aldrich. He's checked in for Jordan. Smith comes in for Blake Griffin. And it's Crawford in for J.J. Redick. Indiana also making some changes. Turner's checked in for Mahinmi. Lavoy Allen comes in for C.J. Miles. Young is subbed in for George Hill. And for Redick, he knew what his NBA career would be like way back in 2005. Clark, I recall him saying, I think I'll be a role player like 80% of the players in the league. I don't expect to be a star. I'll just shoot. I'll be a team player.
Yeah, and he's exactly right. He was highly decorated in college, but every scout knew his strength was shooting the basketball, and J.J. knew it as well.
Now George, following the miss by Ellis from deep. And so he draws the foul on the shot, a trip to the line to shoot 2. Everyone understands the importance of Paul George to the ball club. That's why taking his offensive game to the next level would be so beneficial.
Yeah, he has all the physical tools, the instincts, and obviously he has made those strides. But if he wants to become a top 5 guy, he's still got a little bit of work to do in terms of his game.
That free throw good from George.
For my man PG, Paul George, so much focus has been on extending his range, but ever since he started launching over 5 3-pointers a game, he shot under 43% from the field. Maybe time for him to balance out that shot selection.
Los Angeles making a switch here. Johnson's checked in. And George drops them both.
And guys, talking about Paul George, the continued improvement of his ball handling is key to generating more offense. That was a weakness of his coming out of college. He's worked on it, but making it a strength the way LeBron has would go a long way toward getting him to that next level.
Now Young, following Chris Paul's three-point attempt. Young passes to George. From about 19 feet, off the left rim and out.
You almost have to assume he's going to knock those down when he is that open. How about the start that they've gotten off to here? Huge lead, and we're still in the first quarter.
And, guys, it hasn't just been the scoring. I mean, they're playing tremendous defense, too.
Now here's Crawford. An 11-point game for him in the win against Portland. Pass to Aldridge. The open shot, Paul. Paul missing again.
You know, he just hasn't looked right to me. A bit out of sorts, if you will. Something's off with his mechanics, at least as I look at it.
Here's Stuckey. And he banks in the layup. Stuckey's got his second bucket of the night.
It's taken them no time to build this lead up. Great first quarter offensively.
But no time to relax here. They've got to keep the pressure on with the defense, and I think they've got to try to put this one away early.
If you look at Chris Paul, you're looking at a guy who really is the standard bearer of point guards. I mean, he can pass, he can score, he plays great defense, he also competes. But what makes him the floor general that all others are measured against, really the instincts and leadership.
And he knocks down the first one. Going back to Chris Paul, if you could build a point guard from scratch, Clark, he might be the model.
Yeah, I tell you what, you could do much worse than him, that's for sure. One of the very best. 6 times he's led the NBA in steals. Just an incredible all-around player. One of the greatest team leaders, I think, in the history of the league as well.
Over the last 2 seasons, he's led the league in assists. You're right.
You know, for the Pacers last season, with Paul George being out for most of the season, they knew it would be a struggle. They would go into lengthy dry spells that made it hard for them to keep pace in the East, in part because they missed Paul George's all-around brilliance and his offense.
Good little two-man action there, but they just can't get the shot to fall.
Yeah, but that was a beauty. Good-looking shot, well-executed play. I wouldn't be surprised to see them go back to it.
A shot's good from Aldridge.
Those are the kind of nice inside looks they've gotten in the first half here.
And I think they should continue to work the ball down low, Clark. It's really going to free up their outside shooting.
Stuckey can't get it to go. As for those dry spells you mentioned about the Pacers, they had a number of long losing streaks last season.
Yeah, as a team, they had 4 different losing streaks of 6 or more games, and they got hot at the end. Season-high win streak of 6 to stay playoff relevant. It was just too little, too late compared to their losing streaks earlier in the year.
And he makes the first. Well, at this point in his career, Clark, it's safe to call Chris Paul one of the all-time great point guards.
Yeah, without question. I mean, for a long time, it was hard to argue that Chris Paul wasn't the top point guard in the league. Even now, you can make arguments for others, but Paul is always going to be in the conversation.
Paul Pierce is checked in for Smith, and so Paul nails both of them.
And with Paul, it is all about his consistency. Other point guards will have better years or stretches than him, but he just puts up huge numbers year in and year out, literally like clockwork.
Now, here is Hill. Stuckey outside. He kicks it to Turner. Basket is good. The assist from Stuckey. And the Pacers lead by 9.
He has such a nice touch for a big man.
Yeah, and they've got to figure out a way to get a bigger body on him, because if they don't match up his size, then he's going to continue to work him over the rest of the game.
Here's Crawford. He's been patient so far. Nothing yet on the scoreboard. Lets the three fly and released it in time, but it's off the mark. And so the first quarter is in the books. Indiana out in front, up 9. And we'll be back with you for the start of the second quarter when we return. And DeAndre Jordan not a focal point offensively for this team, but as a defender, he understands he can make a big difference. Jordan, a man who knows what his job is, and he likes his job, Clark, and does it very, very well. He is excelling.
Yeah, he is. He may not be the NBA's Defensive Player of the Year, but he is certainly the Clippers' Defensive Player of the Year. Jordan's become a defensive beast, an animal defensively, and really the thing of it is he's still learning and growing. He's going to continue to get better, which is scary.
Welcome back, folks. We'll see if we're in store for a more tightly contested quarter as we move here into the second. And let's quickly break down the game, guys, we have seen from Indiana. What do you think?
You can tell the point of emphasis has been to get to the offensive glass.
Yep, and they've set the tone here early with the hustle they've come out with.
Inside, it's Griffin and Jordan, and it's Pierce. Then there's J.J. Redick, and it's Prigioni in at the point. So that's the lineup on the floor for the Clippers. Right side, Griffin. And it's good. He planted his feet on the pick and shielded the defender off.
Effective screen set there for the jump shot. That was the key to the play.
Second quarter of basketball, about 1 minute played so far. Ellis wide open. Ellis can't get that one to fall either.
He's tried to get it going, but the shots simply have not been there. Nothing seems to be falling.
Well, Paul Pierce hinted that he could hang him up soon. He had that amazing run, has nothing left to prove in the NBA, and I would say of all the players in last year's playoffs, had some of the most dramatic individual shots we have seen from one guy in a long time.
He did, and you forget he's done that really over the course of his entire career.
Sure.
Just kind of funny to see him doing it in a Wizards jersey, but you talked about it. He's going to go down as one of the all-time greats, no doubt about it. So many big moments over the course of his career, and also for all the kids out there, the best maybe footwork we have in our game. If you want to improve as a player, watch Paul Pierce's footwork.
The Pacers making a switch here. Buddinger's checked in, and both free throws good for Paul Pierce.
Well, the competitive nature was on display early in the career of Pierce. I mean, he has willed his teams to win his entire career and is baffled by anybody who doesn't want to win as bad as he does.
Now, here's Redick. His numbers are looking pretty good. He's got his scoring average up around 18.5 points a game. And with that shot, the Indiana lead's cut down now to just 5 on the basket from Paul Pierce.
If you're waiting for him to miss when he's that open, he's going to be in for a long wait. And that competitive nature that you talked about with Pierce, that's really what sets him apart. He has so many great clutch moments in the postseason. Easily one of the most clutch players in recent memory.
Well, for Jordan Hill, something wonderful happened to him last season. The breakthrough he'd been waiting for on his 6th year.
Yeah, Kevin, you know, it had to do, and I think correlated with him getting a chance to start games, and it blew up for him from there. Posted career-high averages across the board.
And getting back to Jordan Hill, everyone had been waiting for this. I mean, greater activity, more aggressiveness, and he puts up career highs in points, rebounds, and assists.
And Stevenson's checked in for the Clippers. Both free throws good from Hill.
On the topic of Jordan Hill, hey, there aren't many guys like him with his size who can move that well. He's entering the prime of his career right now. Will he continue to ascend, or will he be content with where he's at? Time will tell.
Count it, and the Pacer lead has been cut down to 5 on the bucket from Griffin.
Really just a tremendous day for him. And if you remember, he was just as good in their last game.
The feed to Ellis. Indiana moving the ball around. Screen by Ellis. Jumper off the screen. And the Pacers can't get it to go. The Clippers have gone 3 of 4 from the floor here in the second quarter. Here's Prigioni. He's guarded by Hill. Prigioni kicks to Redick. Puts it up from 17. Again, the Clippers.
And boy, did he ever sell the pump fake. Worked to absolute perfection.
Ellis dishes to Buttinger. Screen by Ellis. Feeds it to Buttinger. Outside Hill.
Even more than enough room to get that shot off.
Now here's Stevenson. Jordan, the pass to Griffiths. Kicks to Mox. Unloads from 13. There's a big high bounce and goes in. Miles has got his second bucket. Clippers trail by 5. Kicks to Redick. Griffin down low. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
And really, the last few seasons, the Clippers have been one of the most consistently strong teams in the league. A far cry from when they were a bottom feeder back in the day. They have become one of the premier franchises in the NBA.
Greg, as you said about the Clippers, the days of finishing near the bottom every year are over. Clark, a lot of that is Doc Rivers.
Exactly. Since 2012, Kevin, they have had the 3rd best record in the NBA. A lot of loyal fans stuck it out with the team during the dark days, and now they're reaping the fruit.
And the Clippers making a change here. Rivers checked in. Then for the Pacers, Mahinmi's checked in for Hill. Lavoy Allen comes in for C.J. Miles. And it's George in for Ellis. And the second free throw, good.
And guys, the Clippers last year, they were okay against the Eastern Conference, but not spectacular. You would have thought that with how well they were overall, they would have just really feasted on the East.
Now here is Hill. He's got 6. A stupendous finish in traffic. Hill's got 4 points in the quarter.
Really aggressive play there, taking it to the rack against the big fella.
You know, Greg, aggressiveness is really the only option when you're on the wrong side of the size equation.
As you said with the Clippers, Greg, they did decently against the Eastern Conference. But of the Western playoff teams, Clark, they had the 2nd worst record against the Eastern Conference.
And, you know, things like that matter, Kevin. I mean, they struggled against Eastern Conference playoff teams, went only 6-10 against those teams last year.
Here's Hill after Austin Rivers scored. Hill dishes to Allen. And the rebound goes to Griffin. Clippers trail by 4. Stevenson drives in. Outside Griffin. It's stolen by Mahinmi. Here's Buttinger. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
And a chance here to see where the Clippers sit in the NBA statistically right now. 3rd in field goal percentage, 4th in 3-point field goal percentage. And they're right there, I mean, among the top 5 teams in second chance points. Doing a really good job of offensive rebounding and then being able to score the ball when they get that second chance.
And let's give them some credit for that outstanding shooting percentage as well. I mean, they're working hard to take the smart shots, not just the first shot that presents itself. And I think that's really paying off.
Okay, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
He misses the free throw.
You know, it's really quite amazing when you look at Chase Buttinger. I mean, statistically, he was the same player last year as when he was a rookie across every category. Even smaller categories like steals and blocks, almost identical output 5 seasons apart.
Smith checked in for Blake Griffin. He's off on the second. And going back to Chase Budding, a terrific athlete with a plus shooting stroke. He definitely has some talent, but Greg, his inability to play consistent defense and his subpar ball handling have capped his career minutes at around 20 a game.
Yeah, and that's why he was a second-round pick way back when. I mean, scouts knew he was a somewhat talented player, but just not a complete one.
And a chance now to catch up on some numbers here. The hustle stats for the Pacers.
And it's been about their defense. They're playing with a frenetic pace, putting a lot of pressure on the ball handlers and forcing turnovers.
Another big aspect of their game tonight has been the fast break, transition opportunity. They're really keeping it up-tempo so far.
Now, here is George. He has 7, and that one's good. George has got his 3rd basket of the night right there. Now let's take a look at the most efficient scoring teams in the NBA. The Clippers 3rd.
They've been outstanding all season long at knocking down their shots. They move themselves. They're looking for the best shot, not just the first available shot. And as a result, they've been excellent knocking them down.
Clippers trail by 8. Rivers kicks to Stevenson. Screen by Smith. And the 3 off target.
Not able to find it here in the second. He's off stride and off track just a bit after that one he had earlier.
Indiana leading by 6. On the wing, Hill. He's guarded by Rivers. Hill passes to Mahinmi. Nobody near Allen. Second chance shot. The shot by Mahinmi, no good.
Terrific job that time defending at the rim. I mean, it's not an easy task stopping that fella when he's headed to the bucket like that. Good job.
Now here's Budinger. And the pass to Hill. Allen, a screen on Redick. Hill kicks to Allen. All sorts of time. And Budinger gets it to go. Budinger's got his second bucket. Clippers have gone 7 of 14 in the second quarter, shooting to the tune of 50%. Smith dishes to Rivers. Clippers moving the ball around. Now the Pacers moving it up. George has got the ball. Allen, that's good.
Such a strong finisher on the fast break.
And Greg, I love the fact he's always in control. Even though he's going at breakneck speed, he still maintains his body control.
Now here's Rivers. He averages about 5 points a game. 2 open that time. Made it look too easy. Redick's got 5 points now in the quarter.
That is his shot, guys. So you can't just give it to him. You've got to get up on him and get into his airspace there.
Attention.
A moment now to see the story on Ian Mahinmi. How's the last month of basketball been for him? He's around 6 points per game, 11 rebounds and almost 2.5 blocks. And he's really been pulling his weight. He's had a hand in some big plays here recently.
Yeah, in every way, I think he's doing a much better job, and the numbers certainly support that.
Here's what the Clippers are going with right now. Cole Aldrich, he's checked in for Jordan. Johnson comes in for Lance Stevenson, and Chris Paul subbed in for J.J. Redick. Offensive rebound, goes up again, and Stuckey with the lay-in, good. Stuckey's got 6.
These defenders look overmatched right now, especially inside.
Well, they've given up 10 of the last 12 points from close range, so I'd have to agree with you, partner.
Smith wide open, he fires. Off target from three-point range.
And for a long time now, Indiana has protected the rim. It's one of the core elements of their defense and why they are so strong on D every year.
Now, here is Smith following the miss by Rodney Stuckey. That's in, and the Pacer lead is cut down to 7 in the bucket from Josh Smith.
And he placed that pass out in front of him and let him just run into it in rhythm.
And George kicks to Mahinmi. George passes to Mahinmi. Johnson against George. Mahinmi. You know, you work hard all season, Greg, to try and get to the playoffs and get a favorable first-round matchup. How about the Clippers last year? Followed those steps. They're rewarded with the first-round matchup against the defending champions of the league, the San Antonio Spurs.
And not only were the Spurs the defending champions, but they came in playing terrific basketball down the stretch, which is kind of what they are noted for. And the Clippers, though, did well, even though that was the case.
Catching up on the changes for Los Angeles. Pierce comes in for Josh Smith. And it's Crawford in for Austin Rivers. Turner's checked in for Indiana. Hill comes in for George. And the second free throw, good. Clippers trail by 8. Now Paul. 8 points for him. They set the pick. Pierce dishes to Crawford. Shoots from 14, and he knocks down the jumper. Crawford's got his first points of the game.
Boy, I tell you, it was a tough road for the Clippers in the playoffs. They get by the Spurs in round 1 in a 7-game emotional series, then immediately have to go up against the Rockets in round 2.
And he gets the bucket.
And he came off that screen, and the D just didn't get over the top of it.
Yep, weren't there in time enough to challenge Greg, and when that's the case, you can mark those up for him.
Now here's Paul. He's been playing a big part of their offensive scheme, averaging around 15.5 points a game.
And we all remember the Clippers would go up 3-1 against the Rockets. They had that 19-point lead in the fourth quarter of Game 6, but couldn't hold on to it and lose Game 7. And it was one of the biggest series collapses, really, in postseason history.
Now Stuckey following the three-point attempt by Pierce. 1:16 left in the second quarter. Outside Hill. Here's Turner, and he gets the friendly spin, and that one drops. And now a 10-point Pacer lead.
Well, there you go. I mean, if they're going to keep giving up open jumpers, they're going to keep hitting.
Paul goes in. Los Angeles with another miss.
And if the shot's not there, you've got to understand that. Move the basketball.
Yeah, exactly, and I'm not quite sure what his mindset or what he was thinking there. I mean, it was just a terrible shot.
And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
And Rodney Stuckey, a combo guard out of Eastern Washington, played a big role for the Pacers a season ago.
You were talking about Stuckey. He did play well in his first year with the Pacers. Clarkey helped them as a starter and off the bench.
Yeah, really had his most efficient year scoring the ball to date. And more than his scoring and what he brought on the court, his presence in the locker room and professionalism. You talk to the people around the Pacers, he was a breath of fresh air on a team that has a number of fresh air guys.
C.J. Miles, he's checked in for Ian Mahinmi. And so Stuckey nails both of them. 40 seconds left now here in the second. Now here's Paul. He's got 8. Pierce with the screen on Young. The drive by Paul. Count it from 12. Paul's got 10.
The defender was spinning around like an agitator in a washing machine after that crossover.
I think you're right. Looks a little bit dizzy after that one.
Now here's Stuckey. The kick out to Hill. Stuckey outside. It's Hill on the wing. Takes the 3. Cannot hit. And that concludes the first half. Pacers lead by 10. And a chance now to send you over to Doris Burke, standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Kevin, thank you. Here with Frank Vogel. And, Coach, you've got to be pleased with that first half. The ball was moving. Your guys were sharing. Things were going well for you. What about it pleased you?
Yeah, the game is simple when you make the extra pass, when you play the right way. We start out playing this way. We got to continue it for 4 quarters.
Thank you, Frank. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you so much, Doris. Great interview as always. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back with the second half of basketball shortly.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Well, 2 quarters down, 2 to go. Welcome back. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, and Kenny the Jet Smith as we start breaking it down for you. So it's Indiana who's out on top at the half. They lead by 10. Shaq, we'll start with you. How do you think they played?
Well, one thing that stands out is how few turnovers they had. The offense looked in control. They were making nice passes, moving the ball, setting screens. The confidence just seemed to build, and the lead did too. They're a very steady team, keeping those turnovers down. That's the big factor.
And Kenny, let's get your thoughts on the Clippers.
It looked like they were shooting threes blindfolded. Sometimes you could get cold, but that was atrocious. It was scary. But they also looked scattered out there, and I think that disorganization was the main issue for them missing those shots. They need to establish themselves better into a better rhythm in the second half and avoid relying so heavily on the three-point shot.
And that's going to do it for now as the second half is almost ready to get started. Back to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the 2K Sports crew. We're going to sit right here and wait for the end of the game and talk at you again.
And the second half about to start here in just a few moments.
Blake Griffin doing all sorts of things. He has 15 points, and he's added a steal to his stat line also.
You know what? The number is not huge, but he has been doing some valuable defensive work for them.
Here's Paul. On the court for Indiana. Paul George is out there with C.J. Miles. Then it's Ellis. And there's Hill. And it's Mahimi in at the center, filling out the middle. Pacers leading by 10. Hill kicks to George. Ellis against Stevenson. Takes a 3. Ellis can't get it to go. The Clippers shooting from the field, 44%, not bad. Picked by Griffin. Griffin a screen on Hill. Here's Redick. An easy layup after coming off the pick. Redick's got it back down to within single digits for Los Angeles. Hill kicks to Ellis. Screen by Ellis. Puts up a three. And it's Hill. That time the assist from Miles. And that's 11 points for Hill.
Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
Everybody on the same page, completely in sync. Tremendous communication and awareness.
Now here's Griffin. 15 points in the game. And the wide open shot from Redick drains the three-pointer. Redick's got 12.
That shot becomes effortless for him when the D is so relaxed. They got to get more intense.
Ellis, that's good. And the Pacers lead by 10.
And an open path to the hoop there. Easy bucket. We've seen that far too many times today.
And Redick kicks to Griffin. Jordan the screen. Griffin passes the ball. That drops. And it comes off an assist from Griffin. Griffin's got 3 assists in the game. Indiana didn't have a great record on the road last season. Only went Clark 15 and 26 on the year, and it cost them down the stretch.
It really did, Kevin. I mean, the Pacers had a bumpy year with all of the injuries, particularly with George being out for most of the year. His absence is most noted in those tough road games.
Now Redick. Paul George missing from long range. Here's Jordan. And that one comes up a bit short. Pacers leading by 7. And it's Ellis penetrating. And he uses the glass on the layup. Ellis has got 13 points.
There's PG creating for a teammate. Terrific dime drop.
Hill against Paul. Picked by Griffin. Redick for 3. Here's Jordan. Nice work on the boards. Paying off with the basket. Jordan's got his second bucket of the game to go.
Guys, he's actually indefatigable. He never gives in, never gives up on a play, and that's what it takes to be a great offensive rebounder. You've got to be relentless.
Here is Miles. 5 points in the game. Shot clock at 6. Outside Hill. And the 3 off target. Clippers trail by 7. And Redick kicks to Jordan. Dishes it to Griffin. The jump hook. Lands soft on the front of the rim and drops. Griffin's got 17.
And he's been the key for their offense with the way he shot the basketball.
Yeah, he's most certainly not the reason they're in the hole. I mean, his percentage has been outstanding.
Now here's Ellis. 13 points in the game. Now the dish to Miles. Second chance effort. Mahinmi's shot is good. Mahinmi's got his 3rd bucket of the night.
Now that's where you like your shots to come from.
Paul against Hill. Paul outside. Here's Stevenson, and he throws it down hard with one hand.
And he just leaves the D in the dust and explodes to the basket.
You're right. Clark, maybe a momentum changer right there, huh?
It could be, Kevin. I mean, a dunk like that can sometimes get an opponent reeling.
Now, here is George. 9 points in the game so far. Redick with it. Pass to Paul. And he's going up for the alley-oop. And Griffin slams it in.
You can see the eye contact there. Gave a little nod and then burst to the rim for the alley-oop slam.
No doubt, Clark. A pair of teammates with a terrific feel for each other out on the floor.
And, guys, anytime it's real tight, you're looking for something that could be potentially a momentum builder. And that's exactly what that play looks to be.
Here's Redick. The Pacers making the shot. This group has players swatting away the most shots in the league this month. The shot clock leaders. DeAndre Jordan, number 1.
Boy, that is an impressive number. My goodness, can he keep that up? If he can, boy, he'll continue to have a humongous impact on his team.
Pablo Prigioni, he's checked in for Chris Paul. The Pacers also with a sub. Hill, he's checked in for Ian Mahinmi. Here's Prigioni. He's guarded by Hill. Here's Griffin. No luck. So Indiana will take it the other way. 13 points was their biggest lead in the game. They get to take on the Blazers at Portland after this one. That is game 3 of this 4-game trip. George, no good.
No doubt last year a bit of a loss for Paul George. I mean, he had to sit out most of it after that gruesome leg injury in the Team USA scrimmage.
LeBoy Allen checked in for Indiana. Now, here is Hill. He's guarded closely. Here's Allen. No luck. Good D by Stevenson. And thinking back on George's injury, still a very graphic image in everyone's mind, but he was able to bounce back.
Yeah, it was great to see him get some game time before the end of the season after that horrific injury. A credit to him working as hard as he did, as well as to the training staff that got him back to be able to play before the end of the season.
And the shot is good.
I love his shot selection today. He set the bar for the rest of the team.
Jordan the screen. Redick against Ellis. And Redick kicks to Griffin. 6 on the shot clock. Launches a 3. The Pacers pull it in. Ellis has got his 3rd rebound on the night. To the middle. Here's Hill. Good, and the assist goes to Ellis. Ellis has got 4 assists now tonight.
I really think that's the area they want to work the ball into, and it takes passing like that to get it done.
They could use a big shot here to get this offense going.
Sure could, Kev. I mean, too many empty trips. They need some points.
Pacers leading by 7. And here is Hill. 13 points in the game. Griffin with the steal. And here we go. Stevenson heading to the hoop. Finished off the break. Stevenson's got 6 points.
Boy, guys, they've shown some great passing on their last few trips down the floor. Excellent.
4 straight passes leading to scores. Great team play.
Now, here is George. He's got 9. And here's Ellis from beyond the arc. Jordan with the rebound. Jordan's got his 5th rebound right now in the game.
He's still looking for his first 3-pointer of the second half after making just 1 in the first.
A shot by Redick, no good.
Boy, even though he missed, you can't give up that kind of a look very often.
Better to be lucky than good sometimes. Fortunately, they didn't get burned on that one.
Now, here's Ellis. His numbers are looking pretty good. He's got his scoring average up around 18.5 points a game.
I like it. I like it. He broke out the fancy finish there.
Here's Stevenson. 7-point differential. Jordan kicks to Stevenson. Picked by Griffin. Lock at 6. Out left to the wing. Gioni for 3. The Pacers pull it in.
Hard to figure out how he doesn't knock that one down. No defender in sight.
Over in the corner, Ellis. In the corner, George with it. Good, and the assist goes to Ellis. And it's a 10-point Pacer lead.
And that's sort of been the story here today, hasn't it?
Attention, students. For your Spirit Dance team.
here we can get a good look at Indiana and what kind of numbers they've put up these last 10 games. Second in blocks, 9th in fewest turnovers per game. And for opponent scoring numbers, not so strong. Only in the top 20 in the league in that category. They leave a lot to be desired at the defensive end.
And how about that sky-high ranking in terms of blocks per game? Sometimes that can indicate a team's allowing too many drives to the rim, but it's sure nice to have bigs who can send it away as a last resort.
Hill against Pierce. Stevenson setting the pick for Pierce. And it's off from three-point range.
And that's the battle they haven't been winning today. Their work on the glass has been porous, and that's got to change.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, as they're looking to battle back, that's one of the key elements. You got to rebound. Fellas, that's been a go-to shot for them today.
Yeah, and they found that sweet spot in the defense, and it's right between the paint and the three-point line, and boy, have they been rock solid. I guess even he has to miss one of those once in a while.
Not to the surprise of anyone, really, but the Clippers last year were strong at home once again. They managed to go 30-11 at Staples Center.
Yeah, and Kevin, that makes 3 straight seasons for the Clippers of 30 or more wins at home.
Here's what the Clippers are going with right now. Cole Aldrich, he's checked in for Jordan. And it's Crawford in for Pablo Prigioni. Hill, he's checked in for the Pacers. Now here's Crawford. And right now he's averaging about 7 points a game.
You know, the big thing for the Clippers is that they won some big games in Staples over tough opponents. I mean, also won 6 of their last 7 to secure the 3 seed in the West.
Now we get a chance to check out the standings out east already. We are in December. You take a look at the Hawks. Things going their way so far in this season. Right now, they lead the pack up front in the first spot with the best record. And checking out Indiana, 9.5 games behind.
I think for the Pacers, with the start they've had, they've taken what was such a hopeful preseason and turned the mood sour.
Can't remember the last time I've seen optimism turn to pessimism as quickly as I have with these guys. I mean, their fans are already talking about who needs to be replaced.
Here's Hill, following the score by Jamal Crawford. Back to Young. Outside Hill. Indiana moving the ball away. The drive by Ellis. It's hauled in by Jamal Crawford.
And one issue with the Clippers at home is that it didn't feel like they were at home. But Blake Griffin said home court advantage is just not there for us. And this is on the heels of a loss where the crowd was cheering for the other team louder than the Clippers at times.
Here's Young after Paul Pierce's score. Young dishes to Ellis. 107 left to play here in the third. And the shot is good. Ellis has got 8 points here in this quarter.
I mean, he's just been brilliant today, guys. And it was the same exact story last time out.
Rivers passes to Aldridge. Here's the screen. And Pierce, here we go. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2.
When you're talking about the greatest clutch players ever, that list needs to include Paul Pierce. I mean, he slowed down a bit, no doubt, but don't let that fool you. If you give him any kind of look at the end of the game, he'll cut your heart out.
The first free throw is good. Looking back at Paul Pierce's career, Clark, so many game winners. None more impressive than his jumper over Dwayne Wade in the first round of the 2010 playoffs.
Yeah, you know, Shaq nicknamed him the Truth for a good reason. I mean, Pierce grew up in L.A. and reportedly dreamed of playing with the Lakers. Ironic that he instead became one of the Celtics' all-time greats.
And both free throws good for Paul Pierce. Pacers leading by 8. And Young kicks to Hill. Young against Rivers. There's a good screen. Pass to Hill. He dishes it to Young. From past the arc. And Pierce pulls it down. Clark, one thing we've seen from these guys is excellent ball movement.
And you love to see that, Kevin. I mean, I love watching unselfish play, and I know Greg enjoys that too.
No doubt about it. It's fun to watch the way they're operating as a team right now. They are all in sync. That mid-range jumper is just another one of his weapons.
Stuckey dishes to Young. Again, Young missing. Crawford can't connect. And we've watched 3 so far in this one. It's the Pacers up 6. And we're coming back in just a moment. Get ready for the fourth quarter of action when we return. We welcome you back to what has been a good one here as we get into the fourth quarter. Pacers leading by 6. Chris Paul and J.J. Redick are the guards. Inside, it's Griffin and Jordan, and it's Johnson in at the 3 slot. Patson's out there for the Clippers.
Good ball movement. He put that pass in the ideal spot, right where it needed to be.
Offensive rebound, Griffin. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
Clearly a foul.
Yeah, he took a shot there, earned those free throws.
And a chance for just a second now to check out the scoring breakdown for Indiana.
And I like how they've taken the high percentage shot in the paint. In that first half, we saw them doing it, and they've continued to succeed as the game has worn on.
They haven't wasted time getting the ball up the court tonight either, and it's resulted in a lot of fast break points.
Griffin hits them both.
Wow, they've made every free throw here in the second half.
And that efficiency, Greg, as you know, so critical when you're looking to overcome a deficit. You've got to be close to perfect and can't waste scoring opportunities.
Now here's Stuckey. It's back to Hill. No good on the triple. Paul against Stuckey. Ball outside, and Griffin slams it in.
Incredible timing on the alley-oop.
He absolutely hammered it down.
Guys, mark that play right there because that could be the one that leads to a surge to break this thing wide open.
Here is Miles, following the basket by Blake Griffin. Miles, the pass to Stuckey. 6 on the shot clock. Outside for George. And good coming on the assist by Rodney Stuckey. And that's 18 points for Paul George. Clippers trail by 6. About a minute and a half into the fourth quarter now. Paul with the ball. Picked up by Stuckey. Picked by Griffin. Paul kicks to Griffin. Johnson left side. Uncovered. Bullseye.
Obviously, a mix-up defensively on that possession.
Pacers leading by 4. Pass to Mahinmi. Stuckey dishes to Hill. George with the screen on Paul. Jumper off the screen. Here's Mahinmi. And that one is stuffed right through.
Just lazy defense on the glass there.
Well, nobody boxed out. Nobody put a body on anybody else. Things like that not only drive the coach crazy, but that stuff gets under my skin.
Now here's Paul. Six on the shot clock. He's looking for Griffin. Finds him. Tried to bank it in, but he misses.
The defense did a really good job of choking off the middle there once he got inside.
In the corner, Stuckey with a wide open look. The rebound by Johnson.
There's no getting around the simple fact that that's a shot he has to knock down.
From 11 feet away, and he knocks down the jumper. And we're about 3 minutes into the fourth quarter. Indiana leading by 4. Let's get this update now from Doris Burke, who's across the way on the sideline.
I was able to listen in on what Frank Vogel had to say to his team. He was absolutely adamant, saying, don't let them off the hook. Let's keep our foot on the pedal and keep doing the things that have gotten us here this far. We're almost home.
Thank you, Doris. And Stevenson's checked in for the Clippers. Now, here is George. No good on the quick three. Still anybody's game at this point.
And no question, this is when you really have to have trust on the floor with each possession.
Knocks it loose. Griffin with the steal. Hill against Paul. Inside. Here's Griffin. And he was fouled in the act of shooting. Chance here now for a three-point play.
You can't afford to get him that kind of a look.
Well, you know, he came off a good screen, but still, as a defender, you've got to do a better job of fighting over and through that.
Everyone knows about the Paul George injury from last year and how it affected the Pacers. He said almost the entire season, and there was no doubt they missed him.
Yeah, and when George came back, Kevin, the Pacers got hot, but they had to put him on a minutes limit. And it wasn't just George, right? The team as a whole had a lot of injuries during the course of the season.
5 to shoot. George with no one around. And once again off the mark by Indiana. The Clippers trail. Paul outside. He feeds it to Stevenson. Griffin a screen on Ellis. Stevenson drives in. Misses from short range.
And, you know, as you said, the Pacers did have problems with injuries. The team roster missed 219 games due to injury. So compare that to the 69 games missed by the Pacers in 2014. Big difference.
And really, guys, the most telling part of the Pacers' injury troubles was this. Had to use 15 different starting lineups over the course of the season. Just hard to stay consistent and competitive when you are always replacing an injured player in the lineup. And, guys, no doubt George Hill had it rough last season. He missed the first 28 games with that left knee injury. Came back for 5, then missed another 11 games before his season got going. But you know what? He had one of his most productive years from that point on.
That's some grit and determination in the post. Essential qualities to have late in a close game.
Exactly. This is the time to attack on the interior and convert those easy opportunities.
Now here's Stevenson. And the Clippers miss again. And getting back to George Hill, what a second half of the season he had. He tore up several key categories, Clark.
Yeah, he was bogged down by injuries early in the season. Came back to average career highs in points, rebounds, and assists. Partly because he was finally treated and looked to as a go-to guy, and he thrived in that role.
Here's Griffin, following the basket by George Hill. The Pacers pull it in. Mahimi's got double-digit rebounds now in the game. Hill passes to Miles. From deep, George. It's hauled in by the Clippers. Stevenson's got his 3rd rebound on the night. He kicks it to Griffin. Can't hit, so Indiana will take it the other way. 13 points was their biggest lead in the game. Hill with it. Chris Paul covering. Hill dishes to George. Fires, high post. It's hauled in by the Clippers.
And he's really having all sorts of problems with this jumper right now.
Yeah, big time. I mean, the words that come to mind, ice and cold and disappearing stroke, all would apply.
Now George, following the three-point attempt by Lance Stevenson. And now the fast break. Stevenson with the ball. Redick with the bucket.
Beautiful play by Lance Stevenson. He's as gifted a passer as we have in the league.
Here is Hill. The feed to Ellis. To the left side wing. Indiana moving the ball over. Indiana again missing. Clippers trail by 4. They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've had a number of empty ones, a long time without a basket. Pretty passing. Timely recognition as to where the open man was.
Down low, here's Mahinmi. And so he draws the foul on the shot on a trip to the line to shoot 2.
Well, some really terrific numbers for Mahinmi. He's got 12 rebounds and a steal.
Offensively, defensively, man, he has done it all.
All hustle, non-stop effort. He just doesn't quit. Great resilience and relentlessness in his play.
That free throw missing. So neither attempt will fall that time for him. Well, you knew things would be different for Lance Stevenson out of Indiana, but it wasn't in a positive way at all.
Yeah, he really struggled to find a role with Charlotte, the team he signed with. Remembering he was more of the point forward, had the ball in his hands in Indiana. Not the case with Charlotte, and also rumored to be traded all last season.
And stolen by Jordan. Ball outside. Here's Reddick. And a great assist by Paul as that one goes in. Paul's got his 8th assist in the game.
You know, for Stevenson, he saw a progression in almost every part of his game last year. Ended up riding the bench down the stretch.
Count that one. 20 points here for George.
Superb playmaking from Monte Ellis. That dish was right on time.
Against Hill. Griffin sets the screen for Paul. Feeds to Griffin. Rebound by Mahinmi.
And that's the way you want to defend. Nice job there.
Always important to have that good interior defense.
Ellis kicks to Hill. And there's the whistle. Foul hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. It's going to be on Blake Griffin.
Some good play tonight for Hill. 16 points and the assist numbers tremendous.
His court vision is on par with anybody. I mean, he could not pass the ball any better than he is right now.
The first one falls. free throws good from Hill. Clippers trail by 4. Ball outside. Kicks to Jordan. And the rejection by Mahinmi. Redick against Hill. And there's the pass to Mahinmi. And Ellis the bucket on the assist from Mahinmi. 21 points for Ellis.
You know what? That's what you like to see. A perfect pass leading him right into the shot. Didn't even have to break stride.
Redick passes to Griffin. Los Angeles with another miss. Indiana leading by 6. And George gets it to go. George has got 22 points.
And they've done some nice work as we've come down the stretch here in the final quarter.
Greg, you can feel the sense of urgency they have to get this thing closed out as soon as possible.
Now here's Stevenson. Stop the run. He is hauled in by Paul George. George has got his 8th rebound here tonight.
He's going to play his way right onto the bench and out of the game if he continues to shoot it like he has so far in this quarter.
Ball against Ellis. Dishes it to Miles. Shot clock at 6. Good, and the assist goes to Ellis. Ellis has got assist number 8 now on the night.
Gotta be demoralizing. They desperately needed a stop, and instead they give up a triple on an open look.
Griffin. And yep, couple bounces and it falls. Griffin's got 15 points here in the second half.
Despite the play of the team, I think he's had an outstanding game. He's really done well here.
Ellis kicks to Hill. Watching the line there, that'll be a backcourt violation.
You know, he's got to take care of the ball much better than he has been. By himself, he's accounted for 4 turnovers. That's way too many.
Paul George really making a difference here.
He's on fire. And they needed to put their heads together to figure out how to get the ball out of his hand.
.144 left to play here in the 4th. Hill against Paul. Here's the dish to Griffin. And a great assist by Paul as that one goes in. 32 points for Blake Griffin.
And he's clearly led the way offensively. The question is, can they ride him and get back into it?
Outside Hill. To Mahinmi. It's good. Now he's shooting 6 for 7. Here's Paul. Jordan the screen. Paul dishes to Griffin. Lots of room. Again, Los Angeles.
He's simply a machine at the offensive end. I wonder how far behind they'd be if he wasn't having this kind of quarter.
Outside Hill. Here's George. He dinks the rim with a two-handed slam.
Just look at how quickly the lead has grown here over the last few possessions.
Clear case here, partner, of saving their best for last. Quite a run.
No doubt about it. He has done a ton to help his team, but he's going to have to do even more if they want to have a chance to get back in this.
Now here is Hill. Screen by Ellis. They set the screen. Three-pointer. Good. The assist goes to Hill. And the Pacers lead by 10.
Well, guys, they came in here and really took charge from the opening tip. This is such a tough thing to do for a visiting team. This contest was played on their turn.
And, you know, that's not the way it usually works in the NBA. It's going to be a great win, and you know it's going to be a happy plane ride out of here for sure.
Passes it to Mahinmi, and that is good. And now it's a 12-point Pacer lead.
And he's really made the most of his opportunities today. I mean, he needs to keep working for those kinds of looks.
Redick passes to Griffin. And he takes that one up and powers it through.
Flush that thing down, young fella.
That is a fierce two-handed.
Maximum force on that dunk.
So no problem for Indiana as they get the win. This was a very strong showing for him, Greg. Not necessarily a runaway win, but one they'll feel very good about.
And let's face it, anytime you can go on the road and win in the fashion they did, you have to feel good about it. Really an outstanding effort all the way around.
And time now to go courtside as we send you over to Doris Burke from the sideline. Doris?
Guys, Paul George standing by with me here. And Paul, first, congratulations on the win. What's the attitude you have as a team right now?
Continue to, play together. And we can just stick to that, keep working, staying confident, keep defending, and knocking shots down. We'll be all right.
Paul, thank you so much. Guys, over to you.
Doris, thank you as always. And that's going to do it tonight, folks, for our broadcast. For Clark Kellogg, Greg Anthony, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan along with our entire 2K Sports crew, thanking you for tuning in. And now the award-winning Ernie Johnson will take it from here. We'll see you next time.
The 2K Sports post-game show.
Kevin, much appreciated. And now let's move on to our Jordan Player of the Game. He notched his season high, and his scoring really seemed to set the tempo for his team tonight.
I can't imagine a player having a better night from the field than he had tonight. His shooting percentage was off the charts. He used every trick in the book to get those high percentage shots. He shot from every direction, and there was a little bit of luck here and there, but he was on fire.
Well, his ability to get into the paint, get to the rim was deadly. For a guy who's mainly a perimeter shooter, it was remarkable how many of his points came right at the bucket.
And folks, that's it for us. Thank you for tuning in. Always a pleasure. For Kenny the Jet Smith, for Shaquille O'Neal, this is Ernie Johnson. Have a great night.